Hello everybody. So I basically just finished up a kind of colossal cupping day at the space, at our space in Chattanooga, Zogio Coffee and Provisions. But it was kind of a special cupping session because Meg Vu from BLK City Coffee Roasters sent me a special care package, and I also ordered a coffee from Meg. So basically I cupped Meg's coffees today, and so I just wanted to do a little kind of wrap-up video or a kind of breakdown of the cupping that I did today of Meg's coffees. So we're just gonna focus on the BLK City coffees today. So basically I had two different Berry Treasures. I ordered a bag of Berry Treasure, but then she also sent me along a different Roast Days Berry Treasure. So I have two Berry Treasure buried in it, as far as not like a pirate treasure that's buried, like a Captain Crunch Berry Treasure. Berry Treasure. That was cute. I noticed that on the package and I thought that was really good. So nice job, Meg. Tiger Claw, Mr. Koto, and I apologize if I'm saying this wrong, and then the decaf. And the decaf is, let me just say what it is. It's actually a honey Honduras decaf from Marcala. So very nice. Okay, yeah, so I basically just cupped everything, standard way I do proto cuppings. I've kind of developed my own proto cupping technique over my years of cupping. I'm not gonna share that with you today. I'm just gonna kind of go over the cups. All right, so Berry Treasure was lovely. It was very much like as the name says, you know, it's kind of a berry treasure with berries in the treasure. So that was fun. I'm gonna say on the nose, I got a lot of berry, of course, you know, or not of course, but that's what I got. But also orange, a fair amount of orange. I always kind of get a lot of the natural Costas. Actually, I don't know if this is 100% of a natural. My gut tells me it is. But I get a lot of, I mean, Costa Rica is all honey, so I guess it would be like natural or a honey Costa Rica. But I just get a lot of citrus out of those coffees. So I got a little bit of orange, but I also got a really nice marzipan and then a nice note of plum. And then it kind of came out with like some more heavy cream. I got like a nice cream note and then kind of citrus. And so it was nice, complex, more on the fruity side, but really nice cup. And that would be Berry Treasure 1. Berry Treasure 2, this is all the nose too. I got more of a buttercream frosting. Definitely a heavy amount of wine, and then some citrus, some chocolate covered berry. So very much like Berry Treasure, chocolate covered berries. And then again citrus, and then there was a strange note that I haven't picked up on any coffee before, and I had to go back a couple times to get it, and it was weird, but I got it. Cherry vanilla. There was a full-on cherry vanilla note, and it wasn't like cherry or vanilla, it was like the cherry vanilla. Okay, moving on to Tiger Claw. So then Tiger Claw, and we're still on the nose, roasted cacao, a lot of roasted cacao I got. I actually have some ceremonial cacao and some drinking cacao behind me that I'm gonna do probably a video on brewing that and tasting that soon. A lot of walnut, some molasses, I got some stone fruit out of there. Also another candied walnut again, and then some really nice caramelization. So Tiger Claw. Mr. Koto, I'm gonna say there we had some macadamia nut, so kind of like more the buttery nut. A whole level of florals that I couldn't really describe, I just call them florals. For me, it was more tangerine. I got a lot of tangerine out of it. And then just kind of like a nut melange, caramelized sugar, and then a kind of tobacco note at the end. Really solid. Decaf had that kind of chocolatey note that sometimes will ebb into carob. It's like I can always tell that it's a decaf because there's a note of carob. So it was chocolate, carob, a really nice buttery note, like very buttery, spice, and then of course like a nice vanilla. Really solid, really balanced. All right, so get into the cup. It was funny because for me, one of the notes that I picked up on in the taste right away with Berry Treasure was a donut. It was weird because like, I don't always feel like I'm calibrated to the tasting notes on someone's coffee bag, but that one I was just kind of struggling to describe some kind of bakery item, and I was just kind of struggling with it, and then like the corner of my eye I caught donut on the bag and was like, oh yeah, donut. So that was really nice. So I got a lot of nice donut, a lot of nice fresh berry, of course. Then I got brown rice syrup. Something weird because I had to make Parker House rolls. Like if you look back, if you find the original Parker House roll recipe, it actually requires brown rice syrup. So I had to go find brown rice syrup one day. It's a delicious sweetener that you can add into things to give it a little more complexity. I got a lot of that in there. Once again, the tangerine kind of came out. Cocoa powder for sure. And then if I had to just describe the cup, I would say it was round. It was, and this is both of them together, balanced, sweet, floral, syrupy, and then when I made like a third or fourth pass, I picked up one more flavor note, Rainier cherry. There was a nice Rainier cherry going on there. So yeah, lovely cup, super balanced, super approachable for a fruity, more kind of like coffee cup. Loved it. Nice job, Meg. Tiger Claw. Okay, so I'm in the South, so some of my flavor notes nowadays are a little bit more southern flavors, you know? That's just the way culture changes you and stuff, I guess. So I got a lot of candied pecan. I guess that's where I live now, in land of, and to be honest, I always have these like candied pecans in a can at home because they're so delicious, so that's my brain a lot. Lots of chocolate. The roasted barley note, once again, I was struggling to place that note, and I have barley on my wheel, and I was looking at that, and then I referenced the tasting notes again, and there was roasted barley on there. So way to go. I guess Meg and I are calibrated because roasted barley was a perfect descriptor. And then I got some red plum and some date. So it's very datey, very sweet, balanced. So once again, very approachable, very nice. Definitely a cup that would probably be pretty good with a little bit of sugar and a little bit of milk, but also, you know, probably a pretty solid spro. Okay, now we're moving on to Mr. Kodo. So Mr. Kodo, I got a lot of butter caramel, I want to say. So butter caramel, some backstrap molasses, so just a little bit more of the darker developed flavors. I also got some green tobacco. It was kind of a nice balancing note in there, I want to say. It brought out some kind of greener, fresher flavors that kind of balanced out some of the developed flavors. So I thought that was really nice. The cup was very much sided on the side of like development. So really nice, really approachable for a developed cup. Really liked it. A lot of nice sweetness going on there. So nice job again, Meg. And then the decaf. Decaf had honey, a nice amount of honey there. And also, it's like a weird, I pick up the carob on the nose of decafs, and then on the cup, I always get like a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. Super strange, but I always pick up those notes on decafs. I think it's the processing. So once again, I got a little bit EVO, but then it went into almond. I got a lot of coffee pulp. That's also a pretty solid decaf note, coffee pulp. Cacao, and then just a nice kind of coating sweetness, which in decaf, that's kind of a hard thing to get, you know, because the processing takes away a little bit of our control in the roast because of the decaffeination process. A lot of times the coffees are drier or they're just a little odd because of the decaffeination process, and usually it's a little bit harder to develop like that heavy sweetness. But this had a lot of nice sweetness. So once again, nice job, Meg. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, that was the Black City tasting. I went through Berry Treasure, Tiger Claw, Mr. Kodo, and the decaf. So thanks, Meg, for sending me the lineup. I really hope that my cupping notes are accurate and were calibrated, and it was a nice, enjoyable day at Zogio to cup my coffees, but then to have someone else's coffees on the table too. Another roastery from pretty far away in the country. It was just a nice kind of complex table, and they kind of, they fit together really well. All right, well, that was just my summary here. I guess because story time, you know, I'm enjoying my story time, and I don't know if you all are yet. I've only done one story time. I figured I would just throw in a quick story time on this one because we're cupping right here, right? So yeah, so quick story time. This is basically Derek's biggest mistake ever at a cupping. I was just doing one of the really big Roasters Guild cuppings, and if you guys have ever been to the first day or the first cupping at the Roasters Guild, it's pretty crazy. There could be like 40 people on a table that probably only should really have 10, you know what I mean? And so you're packed in, and you're lucky to even get your cup, you know, to get to taste anything. And so you have your spit cup and you have your spoon, and you're basically like, almost like you're in like a fucking, what's the crazy dance, like a mosh pit, where you're like back, you know, someone's behind you and someone's in front of you, and you just have to just march and get to your cup and then march and then get to your cup and then march. And I was doing that and I wasn't paying attention. The person in front of me was at a cup, and the person behind me kind of pushed me a little bit just to get me moving, and I just had my hands strange, and I ended up spilling in my spit cup, which I had a full, you always have a full spit cup there because there's like 55-gallon drum or garbage cans over that you can put your spit in, but you never go there, so it's just kind of like you fill up your cup. And as I'm like walking, someone hits me from behind, or I move too fast, and I end up spilling my spit cup that was full into the person in front of me's shoe, because they were just stepping up, and it was like, I couldn't have done it if I wanted to. And oh my gosh, that was the greatest mistake I've ever made in cupping, because everybody turned because the person was like, oh, what happened? And then I'm like, oh my gosh, that was my spit. And pouring spit into someone's shoe, pretty sure that it ruined their shoe. So yeah, don't yeah, I guess pay attention when you're at those like crazy group cuppings, and just guard your spit cup with your life. Because spilling it on yourself is totally okay. Spilling it into someone else's shoe, that can kind of ruin the whole Roasters Guild weekend to a certain degree. You're gonna always be that guy. That's me. All right, cheers. Hope you guys had a good day. See you later. Goodbye.